Hello YouTube, this is ACIoannina, and this is,
Repsol5085.
and when everyone else has basically given up on Assassin's Creed, we still valiantly try to play it, well, when we can. We often try to play it, but we keep failing. Um, you can join in anytime you want.
Well, I was waiting for you to introduce the topic. um, yeah, we're trying and failing.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 4 is, in my mind, it may even be the best Assassin's Creed game in itself. I like the single player a lot. I like the abilities in the multiplayer, but it's not working.
Yeah. Well, single player is pretty good. I mean, it's a lot better than some other Assassin's Creeds we've seen. But yeah, multiplayer is a total fail.
Um, which one is your favorite Assassin's Creed in terms of single player?
Single player, I don't know, maybe AC2 because of the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really loved AC2 as well, but uh, the single player in AC4 is up there with AC2
Yeah,
for me. I think
it is
it's
really,
really
really,
good as well.
yeah, pleasurable experience.
But we've been playing together since Brotherhood. We often complained about the connectivity problems in the games, but
Yeah,
has it ever been this bad?
no, I don't believe that it has been this bad.
Yeah,
Like, there was at one point in AC3 that we had a huge problem with that, but I think they kind of fixed it. Or,
yeah. I think it was in the beginning.
yeah, when it
Uh,
launched.
yeah, but that was quickly patched. In AC4, the connectivity was never fixed.
Yeah. Um,
When was
and
it the last time we played? A couple of weeks ago? When we were 1 hour in the menu trying to find the session, and
yeah,
eventually we got into a couple of sessions when not by trying to find the session as a team, but uh, when we search independently, we ended up in the same session. But when we were searching as a team, we couldn't get into any sessions. We ended up in broken sessions.
you know, it's been like that for quite a while. I mean, probably since ACB, but hasn't been this bad.
What's the point in playing a game if you cannot play it with friends?
I guess that's why they pulled uh, back Ubisoft and tried to co-op for AC Unity. It wasn't working clearly. They tried it like how many games? Like 3 games?
Yeah,
Um, four games. And
Brotherhood, Revelations, AC3, and AC4.
AC4, yeah. And
It's I
sorry.
liked I liked the multiplayer in Brotherhood. It was difficult to get into it, but it was fair, and a lot of people liked it. It was pretty competitive, but some abilities were not balanced.
Yeah, there were a
Uh,
lot of overpowers.
yeah, especially the smoke,
Yeah,
and smoke got even more overpowered as the games progressed.
Yeah. ACB was very popular, a very popular game. A lot of people started playing because of the amazing story of AC2. You know, a lot of fans started playing ACB the next game, and when they introduced multiplayer, everybody was hyped. I mean, ACB was the first game that I bought, and I bought it because of the multiplayer.
Well, a lot of people were saying that they shouldn't add multiplayer to ACB because it would dis detract from the main game, and
Yes.
a lot of people complained about that it was an inferior game because of the multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a requirement these days to have a multiplayer or at least some kind of co-op for people to be able to play with each other because, you know, you finish the single player and what then? You just uninstall the game and start the next one. But when you have multiplayer or co-op, you can play with your friends.
I think
Uh,
multiplayer was added in games as a form of silent DRM to prevent people from, if you cannot, uh, if you have pirated the game,
yeah,
you cannot play the multiplayer,
yeah,
so you cannot enjoy half of the game
yeah.
along those
Well,
lines.
yeah, and then they started creating. Actually, there are a lot of servers that support ACB right now, pirate servers. But in the beginning,
Really?
it was like that, I guess. Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. Like if I have like a friend or two that have played it. Actually, was able to play it for like 10 seconds before he bought the game. Like he tried like 5 times to pirate it,
Well,
and then he gave up.
you mean the single player?
No, no, no. Single player was always playable pirated, but he tried to play multiplayer pirated,
Oh,
and he was actually able to for about 10 seconds. I guess that was the time that during scans, and then he got banned.
oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Um,
And I'll have to edit out the name.
yeah, just put a boop there.
And oh, uh, I think in AC4 the abilities are pretty well balanced. Uh, and I love the fact that I've never unlocked Smoke Bomb in that game. I've never used it. It's the
Yeah,
first Assassin's Creed that I didn't have to use Smoke Bomb. No, I
yeah,
enjoyed it because it's not useful here. It's not as overpowered.
yeah. Actually, they made it very a very bad ability. I mean, with time it takes to, you know, activate, if you would say.
Well,
And
that's not a bad thing in my mind.
yeah, it's not a bad thing, but it's a now a almost useless ability because most of the times you needed an instant thing that could save you. Boop, smoke bomb. You dodge the kill and you take a stun. But right now it's like you're already dead. So
Well, there is the time warp ability, what's it called?
yeah,
Um,
which
or
I find overpowered.
it's not overpowered. It, you can still kill or stun somebody in it.
Yeah, you can, but it's a lot, it's a lot more difficult. At least to me, I haven't played that much. I'm not a very experienced player in AC4.
Well,
Um,
you would be if we were able to play more often.
yeah,
But it's it's very difficult to play with friends. I know a
it's
lot of people who play a private artifact assault. Private matches work well.
yeah, private matches work well because it doesn't have to put you in a session again with other people, doesn't have to find other people and uh, connect you all to the same session.
But the thing is that I hate Artifact Assault in
Yeah, so
ever.
do I. I mean,
I loved it in Revelations when it was new, and
yeah,
you only had two ability slots. Now everyone has knives, and they keep using them. You cannot
until
do
bored.
anything without getting hit by knives.
Yeah, and if you remember, they were doing this in AC. They did this for AC4 and AC3. They said, we're gonna make the game feel like a true Assassin's Creed game. We're gonna add in stealth. You're gonna have to build up your stealth, take the kill, for the most points, all that stuff. But with Artifact Assault, it's only people running. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I get in game, people just run everywhere. I can't even.
I liked that in Revelations. You could free run a lot,
Yeah,
but uh, when the third ability slot was added, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't run because you would get hit by knives, and you couldn't use stealth because experienced players will always recognize
yeah.
you.
And it became actually a very popular mode, and for the people that managed to, you know, understand it and start playing it. There's a lot of tournaments that I've seen
Yeah,
between clans and all that stuff. But given that I really, really dislike the mode, I not mainly because I suck in Artifact Assault. Um,
well, I haven't played it in the last couple of games enough to be good at it, so
yeah, I
I
remember you were pretty good in. You were actually really good in Artifact
ACR
Assault in
in
ACR, I
ACR.
think. Yeah,
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 yeah, it was my favorite mode back then,
yeah. And I still hated it back then.
and I loved still the artifact.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool game. I don't know. I really enjoyed actually Alliance and ACB, like two and two and two.
Yeah, that was nice too. That was fun.
I mean, when you don't have a full team and you don't want to play with some randoms that can ruin everything, you can try to play like a normal free for all, but it's with friends, co-op, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it it was a nice mode, but it was difficult to get into because it needed precisely 6 players, and
Yeah,
you couldn't. Um, if somebody left, it instantly became completely unbalanced.
yeah. That was the
So
main flaw.
yeah, it really needed. Uh, it needed a
It
team.
it it was very strict in terms of
Yeah,
player numbers and
only
the
if you
way
played with
players.
friends, it would
Yeah,
work correctly,
yeah,
and that's a fail in my
yeah.
mind.
That's why they remove it, I guess, in ACR. Um, but then they introduced like three new modes, three new modes, I think.
Yeah,
Four,
Artifact Assault.
four.
Um,
Corruption, still the artifact, deathmatch.
yeah, Corruption
Uh,
was fun as well. I
yeah,
think it
corruption
was
was fun.
one. It was suggested by people in the forums, and it was added to the game.
It was really fun, but when you start out alone, it wasn't that fun.
Yeah,
I mean, if they find you before you find them, it's not cool.
yeah,
And I'm sorry.
it became tiring after a while.
Yeah, it wasn't very popular.
Yeah, so they removed
Uh,
it,
Still, the artifact, I think, as well, wasn't as popular as they wanted it to be.
but it was incredibly fun,
Yeah, it
especially when
was.
you were against noobs.
Yeah,
All you
well, it's
needed to
always
do
fun.
was use decoy and hide into hay bales and things like that. And it was so funny seeing them run around.
Everything's fun against noobs. uh,
Yeah. I remember the first time in Brotherhood when I used decoy, and I was still a noob, of course, and I saw my pursuer start running after the decoy, suddenly stop because he saw that
Compass, yeah.
the compass was showing the other way, then continued to run after the decoy, and then stopped again, and wasn't sure what to do, what was going on. I
Yeah.
I burst out laughing. That was that was very funny back then. Anyway, are you excited about the new game?
Which game? Unity?
Unity, yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm actually excited for both of the games. Even though they say that it's not coming to PC Rogue, I'm pretty sure that AC Rogue is gonna come like in later years as Liberations did.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
After all, PC can run everything, so
Yeah.
especially a last game like PC Rogue.
Yeah.
Although PC Rogue seems a lot like a copy of AC4. I see in videos I've seen the same animations, the same graphics, the same everything. They just changed the skin of the protagonist and added uh, some kind of plot.
Well, if you think about it, ACB is actually a copy of AC2. And actually AC2 used all the animations and free running and stuff from AC1. So
Mm. Yeah,
AC-B turned out good. I mean, it was kind of cool.
uh, it was a big step down from AC2 though.
Yeah, well, it's like AC2 is, one of the best. And once you get that good, it's hard to continue on getting better from there on.
Yeah, that's why I liked AC4 because it was so different and so
Yeah.
original compared to the previous games. AC3 was okay, but it was too boring and the side missions were incredibly dull. While in AC4 they felt like they were part of the story.
Well, AC3's main flaw, from what I've heard, is that there's not a lot of character development. Well, it's very hard to have like a 20-hour game, 24-hour game, and develop two guys.
Yeah,
Hatham and Connor. By the way, spoiler alerts for people who haven't played the game. uh, so it's very hard to develop those two characters. And they made them way too focused on what they believed was right.
and
I mean, as we can see in AC2,
yeah,
Etsu had a love interest. He lost his family, but you could at first you could grow and like what his father was, what his mother was, and you basically see Etsu from the beginning to the moment when he was born till the end of his life in Embers. And what I saw from Connor was like the first 20 something years of his life.
well, I wouldn't care if we didn't have ACB or ACR, especially ACR, which felt like a filler game to me
Mm-hmm.
in terms of Ezio. But so the fact that Connor was only in one game isn't the problem to me. The problem
Yeah,
is
but
that he wasn't an especially interesting character.
yes, that is true because let's say Edward and Altair both were in only one game. Well, Altair was in a game and a half,
Well,
but
Altair wasn't an interesting character, but back then it was completely new,
Yeah,
and
it was.
Altair was he was a blank character in the
Yeah, but
first game, a point of view character, an avatar for the player, an empty
yeah,
vessel. But uh, Connor tried to do something similar, but he wasn't helped with the plot because the plot wasn't interesting. The story wasn't interesting, nor were the side missions, nor were the navigation. The navigation
yeah,
was a big chore in both AC1 and AC3 because you it was difficult to move around. You had to travel vast distances of nothing, just trees.
yes.
You
I mean,
could
I was
climb
in.
some trees, but how did that help to
Yeah,
move along?
I'm currently playing through AC3, and there was the Frontier. I mean, it was pretty. It's pretty cool as concept. I mean, you've got this huge forest, and you can hunt animals and see um, different villages and convoys and stuff. But it's not really interesting when you start playing. I mean, you get dropped in there somewhere, and then you're like, okay, I have to get to there, decide, and there's like 10 minutes of you running or just on the horseback, like waiting to get somewhere.
I guess it would be interesting if you just did the main story and nothing else. No, uh, no side missions or anything else. Just from one uh, story mission to the next. Maybe that would
Mm.
make it a lot more interesting and fast-paced, but if you're a completist like I am, uh, you want to do 100% of the game. I always bought the gold editions or deluxe editions, or in the case of Assassin's Creed 2, I bought the black edition.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to experience the whole thing, everything that the game had to offer me.
Yeah.
So in AC3, that was a chore, just like
Yes.
AC1 and the flags.
Yes. It's very mainly. It's probably because it's like this huge open areas with nothing in them, and you have to go through them. It feels like empty, and it's not as interesting. Let's say as in previous games when you have the big city and stuff going on. And that's actually the thing that AC4, I enjoyed the setting a lot, but I doesn't feel right for me because I really like the big cities. I really liked Florence and Venice from AC2. I didn't like Constantinople that much because it was very strange.
Yeah.
City is also built like that, but as in
Well,
Venice and Florence, it was very cool.
yeah, I agree, but in AC4 also you had a big variety in the islands, etc.
Yeah,
And in the sea a lot of things happened all the time in the sea. You could
yeah, yeah.
always
That
see other
was,
ships. You could participate in naval battles. You could do some pirating. You could do a lot of things.
and that is what makes it a great game. You can
It kept
join in
you
whenever you want.
occupied, yeah, uh, without it being a chore like
Yeah, like
AC3 was.
AC3. Yeah, but still, I mean, for me personally, I'm a fan of big cities. I'm talking about like they feel an AC. In the Assassin's Creed games, I'm a fan of that. I'm not a fan of wilderness and going out. actually, as a person, I would have no problem, going out like that. But in game, I would like to see um, the big city. That might be because I live in a small city in real life, but I just want to be in a huge city like Paris is gonna be. I think they said that it's gonna be a few times bigger than all the islands in AC4 when you collect them together,
Yeah,
put them
maybe
together.
it, the thing that scares me is that it might be a lot like Rome in ACB.
Yeah, where you don't have anything to do, and
Yeah,
it's a big city. Yeah,
let's
that's
hope
what I'm afraid of
it's.
as well.
Though it does remind me a lot of the air that AC2 and ACB had.
Yeah, and that's what I loved of the what? I'm sorry. I
The atmosphere of
Yes,
AC2
yes,
and
yeah.
ACB.
Well, it's probably because it's a European city from.
So let's
Uh,
hope it's good. Uh, yeah.
no, nothing. Continue. I'm sorry.
Have you heard about all the complaints people make about how there's no female characters in in Unity?
Yes, I've read a few things.
Yeah, it's stupid because in previous games there were female characters in the multiplayer, but
Mm-hmm.
in the co-op in this game you cannot have female characters because basically all the characters are Arno, the protagonist. They just have a different face for the
Yeah,
different players. Beyond that, they're the same character. They couldn't make them into women. They could, but what would be the point in that?
but you see, that's a DLC that they're planning on to get more money.
Hmm, maybe.
Be able to play as a female character. I don't know. Maybe because you know, I think it should be added as an option if you want to play as a female character. I mean, in co-op, then
Yeah,
play it.
maybe if they
But
did it like um in Mass Effect,
yeah,
where you could make your character into a female Arno, an Arnett, but uh, that could actually work. But I don't know about if it would fit the plot of the game.
yes,
Uh, if they would
I
have. Besides, Assassin's Creed is not an RPG. Mass
well,
Effect
it is now.
wasn't. Really?
It, yeah, it's kind of an RPG right now. You have different armor sets. You have as if you haven't seen, it's like somebody took a picture of I don't know some store, and there's an Assassin's Creed out there, and it says pre-order now for to get exclusive pants to boost your speed, stuff like that. It's very dumb when you look at it, but it actually is pretty much like an RPG because you can put on different armor, which is gonna improve your.
Well, you could
Uh,
always do that in Assassin's Creed.
well, no, it actually increases your agility or your stealth or your health and stuff. I don't think that in previous games you were able to improve your stealth. Uh,
You had the capes in AC2.
no, no. What I mean is you are more silent.
Oh,
You have less health. However, you people don't spot you as fast. You have less. You know, it reduces your blend time. It
I tried to stay away from news about Assassin's Creed for about Unity because I didn't want too many spoilers about it.
yeah. Well, I
Sorry.
did find a lot of pictures here and there.
I
Basically
know
it
you
pops up.
keep posting them on
Yeah.
Skype.
Did you see them all? I mean, I lost track. I
Sometimes.
must have uploaded like 40 pictures, if not more. I mean, right here, I'm right here. I'm looking at one, and it's very common if it shows you different chests, different chest pieces, and it improves a lot of things like deadly, unseen, agile, resilient. Um, there are requirements as it shows, and there are modifiers. Melee armor, ranged armor, time to blend, blend fade time, stuff like that. And disguise radius, sorry, restricted area detection time, and stuff like that, which is gonna change your gameplay. I mean, if you want to be more like a tank dude, just jump in there and kick some ass, stab a few guys, or actually cut them because you're gonna be probably playing with something big as a weapon. You can do it. Or if you want to be stealthy and just walk around and not be seen or heard of and, you know, loot chests and stuff, you can do it. And you also have the thing with the points, the perk points. Now it's very it's very close to Watch Dogs. Because what it does is you can put points into you becoming, I think something
Yeah.
like becoming faster or more, or climbing faster, more stealthy, a lot of more health, lockpicking skills, other skills like that. It's very RPG-like right now.
Yeah, I haven't completed everything in Watch Dogs. I
Mm-hmm.
um I completed the main story, but it doesn't draw me that much to finish all the side stuff and complete
Yeah.
the perk points. Um, and the online portion of Watch Dogs, I find it very not very interesting.
I was very hyped about the game. I mean, I thought about buying it, but then I decided to play it because I saw the requirements. And I must say I wasn't disappointed. It was just that I got a little bit less than I expected, or maybe what I expected, and I wasn't surprised at all, and it just took something away. Just like didn't feel that good playing it.
Yeah, I I wasn't too excited about Watch Dogs either way, so I got it from eBay about a
Mm-hmm.
month after it was released. People were selling their Nvidia codes, so I got it pretty
Yeah.
cheap. No DLC, but well,
Yeah.
I
Um.
didn't want to give any more money than what I than the amount of money that I gave for it.
Yeah. And
And it
yeah, it
was
wasn't
worth
that
the
interesting.
price I paid for it, but I still don't think it was worth any more than that.
Yeah. Uh, Same here. I mean, I think the same thing. Um. But as it helped AC Unity in a lot of ways. I mean, um, I probably they've taken some ideas from from Watch Dogs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I suspect the co-op parts will be a lot like the hacking parts uh, in Watch Dogs. The
Well,
functionality of them of the co-op parts will be a lot like the multiplayer in Watch Dogs or
I
in
don't
The Crew.
I don't really know how the multiplayer worked in Watch Dogs because I've never played it. I mean, does it put you against a person or you can team up with somebody?
Sometimes it suddenly tells you that some other player is hacking you and you have to stop them, uh, or if you want to try and hack other players and things like that.
But you can't play like two guys team up on somebody and
No, no,
like
no.
okay.
More like the crew, how it
Yeah.
was in the crew,
Yeah, I was thinking
the
about
crew
that.
beta.
Yeah, the crew game is gonna be a pretty cool game, I guess, when it unlocks the full thing.
I won't buy it.
But
I didn't like it.
yeah,
I
me
didn't
neither.
like
I
the
don't think
beta.
I'm gonna buy it. I don't think I'm gonna buy it. But it could be a cool game if they work on it. There's a lot of problems in the
Yeah,
crew for the people that haven't played it with connecting with
cars,
friends.
cars getting underground or flying cars or
No, no,
uh,
no.
disappearing
Yeah,
cars.
disappearing because it pulls us out of the session, puts us in other sessions, which is a problem we talked about about AC4 and
Yeah,
previous AC games. So I guess they haven't fixed that up yet,
yeah.
which is a bit disappointing. But
And
I
I
I
still
hope
can't
that
understand why they're not making their games like uh, uh, like Steamworks games. Just
yeah
ditch Uplay and make it Steamworks. They want to
yeah
make Uplay into a Steam alternative, but it's not a Steam alternative. It will never be a Steam alternative. It will never be as good as Steam. It's not even try to be uh, on any
yeah.
level of Steam. Uh,
Well, there's this part with that they saw like EA made Origin and then they decide I don't know which came first actually, but
Even
I'm guessing
Origin is better than Uplay.
he's I can't I haven't used Origin as much as to have an opinion on it.
I've used Origin even less than you, considering I usually get into it to play Battlefield with you.
Yeah, and you play like
Yeah,
what, like twice?
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not into shooter games, sorry.
Well, I haven't spent that much time in it as well because it opens up a browser. Anyway,
Yeah, that's a big problem.
I don't
Uh,
know how it works. I'm not very into the area with Steam, but I guess Steam takes some percentage of the sales, and
well, of course it
Ubisoft,
does.
yeah, but I guess Ubisoft doesn't like that,
Yeah,
or maybe doesn't find it.
but any store, any online store takes a percentage of the sales, obviously. I
Yeah,
think Steam gets about 30% of the sale, so it's still more profitable for them than selling a retail disc, which they get about 20% or 15%.
hmm.
Um,
Well, I'm sorry, continue.
uh, Something else I wanted to say when I asked about the female characters. Have you heard recently the things that were happening about gaming and feminism and etc.?
Actually, I think I've heard a bit, but just go ahead and remind me because I'm not sure I heard the right thing.
Um, there's a lot of things happening lately. It's a bit of a hot topic. Uh, there was this Zoe Sarkisian who was saying a lot of things about how games are anti-feminist, etc. And then there was another. another female developer, Zoe Quinn, who was allegedly cheating her boyfriend with some uh, some people and uh, at least one gaming journalist.
She
Uh,
was what?
Cheating her boyfriend with a lot of people, with 5 people,
Okay.
allegedly, according
I
to
haven't
him.
I haven't heard that.
I'll send
Okay.
you a few links to hear
Just
about the story.
yeah, and
Um, the whole story is pretty funny. And the thing is, uh, she was getting positive reviews for a game that's pretty terrible. Uh, and they say it's because she was uh, paying for those reviews with, uh,
yeah, with body.
yeah. And uh, people are commenting on that because uh, there's we all know there's no journalistic integrity on those sites. I mean, companies
Mhm.
pay to get positive reviews all the time, uh,
Yeah.
and people are commenting because of that. And there's the other group of people who are defending her, saying that, oh, we're anti-feminist, and that's why we are commenting on that because she's a woman, which I find at least crazy. I believe most uh, extreme feminists are essentially sexists. I consider myself anti-sexist. I don't care about the gender or the sexuality or the gender identity of others. I
Hmm.
respect them the same way. Um, but I believe extreme feminists want to be the female feminists. Uh, they want to be given more things just
Attention.
because they're women.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Well, that's equality. Uh,
I'm,
sarcastic.
yeah, I'm anti-sexist. I believe in equality for everyone.
Yeah. Well, uh, just it's the thing that the woman has in history, the woman has been um it's not mistreated as more like she has been below the male for centuries.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard just to say poof and then equality. It's a very slow process, I guess. And some people tend to, uh, you know, uh, abuse it, try
yeah.
to make a, well, I'm gonna say make a profit, but it's not really profiting. It's just like,
I think that's what this Sarkisian lady is trying to do to make profit out of.
yeah,
She was trying to find something to draw attention. She found that gives her a lot of money and a lot of attention. So
yeah.
she's doing that professionally now. And the thing is that she's not even a gamer. She said it herself.
But
There's
she's a game developer.
no, the other woman, the one who cheated on her
Oh, yeah,
boyfriend,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
is a
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm
developer.
sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
She
I
made,
got that mixed up.
and basically she made a flash game
Yeah.
called Depression Quest. Yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
can see that. Hmm. Wonder what the final effect is.
It's free on Steam.
No, I'm sorry.
You should look the reviews for it. They're
Or the
pretty
tags.
hilarious. No, the tags are okay. I think they started moderating the tags on games after the tags on Far Cry 3,
For
4
for an ACU.
AC Unity.
Yeah.
Did you see those tags? Do
Yeah,
not
yeah.
pre-order, etc.
Walking simulator. Wait, what's it called? What's the, oh yeah, Depression Quest.
Yeah,
At least she made it free.
well, free to play is
What?
pretty profitable lately.
I read somewhere that some magazine posted that free to play games are dying, and then a few hours later they said free to play games are the future, which is very strange.
Well, lately there's a lot of articles saying the gamer identity is dying and things like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've also read that DLC sales uh, and sales on free-to-play games make more money than regular games, so
Yeah,
that's why Ubisoft is trying to add a payable,
microtransact.
yeah,
Yeah,
microtransactions in their games.
and it's gonna be an ACU.
Yeah,
It was
hooray.
an AC,
Well,
an AC4, an AC3. I mean the Erudito credits and stuff.
yeah, but it wasn't so annoying. I hope it won't be annoying in.
Yeah, same here.
There was a booster pack in AC3, I think, to get the resources faster. In AC4.
Um,
In AC4.
yeah, there's also stuff like to find the treasures and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
But you know, it's not that vital.
yeah.
You can do it without paying, but there are a few games out there that are just
Actually, I always got the deluxe editions, so I I already had that, I think.
yeah. I made a mistake with buying a AC4's uh, deluxe edition with the season pass because I haven't played it that much. Um, Mainly because I bought it because of the I bought it because of the multiplayer, and I was very disappointed, so I stopped playing the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting the normal edition for AC Unity.
I'm still thinking about it. If I get a good sale for it, I'll buy the gold edition. Otherwise, I might do the same thing I did for Watch Dogs. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna have trouble finding enough videos to put in this commentary. I might
Okay,
have to
so
use from previous games. Anyway, thank you for doing this with me,
no problem.
and thank you everyone for listening to it. If you have any comments, uh, post them in the comment section. And where can people find you? Your YouTube channel, Twitter, etc.
Yes, yeah, at my YouTube channel Repsol5085, and that's pretty much.
Twitter?
And on Uplay,
Oh,
Twitter, I don't use it that much, so
okay. So, have fun, everyone, and good night.
good night.